We did it.
Here we are, a blockbuster year. It's purely sexual.
I'm so glad you made us do this tonight.
Welcome everyone to episode 7
Jeez.
of a
Sorry.
blockbuster year. This is a special Thursday night live episode. I was traveling yesterday. I landed in Vancouver at just after 3 o'clock, and then there was insane traffic and an accident, and it took me over 3 hours to get home yesterday. So
Oh
even
no.
if I yeah, even if we wanted to try to do something yesterday, I would not have made it home in time. So
I'm glad. I'm glad
I'm
that to be
glad
here
we're
on a
here
Thursday.
tonight. Glad to be on a Thursday. Jay is a tad under the weather, but he is here. He's ready to talk SNL. I'm happy to see you, buddy. How are you feeling? But
I don't feel great, and I don't want to make it a whole thing about that. But
all good.
I never got COVID over
Yeah,
COVID.
yeah,
Amazingly, it was a miracle. Never got it. And then just the last couple of days, I've been feeling run down. But I'd been hitting it really hard lately, bell to bell schedule. There's just so much to
yeah.
do in life, trying to kind of spool back up. And I thought I was just pushing it too hard. And then I talked to a friend on and it got worse and worse, like last night and then today. And I talked to a friend this morning on the phone, and he was like, you know what's going
Yeah.
around.
Still going around.
Yeah, and then I had a bunch of tests under the sink from
Yeah,
in the bathroom from 5 years ago. So I took one, and of course it was positive.
yeah,
So I have no idea how I got it. I mean, I've been doing too much lately for one, but I don't know how you get COVID really.
yeah. It
So
floats around there. But
so I'm here
I'm
alone. There is no one around me. I'm
yeah,
quarantining at the house.
and I'm up in Canada, far
Yeah,
away.
that's right. We're nowhere near each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very social distance.
There are some comments I read again in Applebee, and we're off.
And
A block. Oh, that's you. Okay.
yes, yes. If anything happens to the live stream tonight, we are live streaming on Jay's Facebook page currently, but we're close. We're close to our 60 days of our Blockbuster Year Facebook page. So
Oh, that's good news.
hopefully, yeah,
Thank you, Renee, for wishing I feel better.
yeah.
I will
Renee's
say that
here.
there was a software update with our system last week, and it seemed to
Yeah,
knock everything out, and it screwed up our late night playset show. It screwed up our
yeah,
Blockbuster Year show. But they've done 2 updates since, and then everything has been really stable. So
yeah.
I'm hoping that we're good
Me
tonight.
too. Because yeah, we lost our live stream for our Clue episode, and then that was like we lost our live stream for the Clue episode like maybe like an hour and 40 in, but we lost the live stream for last week's Lost in America episode at like 9 minutes in on YouTube.
Oh,
Totally
really?
fine on Facebook. The Facebook viewers, they got the whole live show, and obviously the episode has been uploaded since then. The one with Justin Scarred from Random Land, that's uploaded now. Then I mean that was a fantastic episode, so much fun and just unreal that
That was so
episode. So
fun because of the conflicting opinions that were floating
oh
around the
yes,
same room. We weren't just on the
yeah,
internet together. We were all in the
yeah.
same room.
It I it was so funny because sitting there last week, I had a realization, and we were probably already like 10 to 15 minutes in, that I was like, I don't know how to do this show that we've been doing for 5 weeks already. Like there, obviously we're still finding and discovering the show, but being in that space right next to Justin and right next to you, I was like, this is a different energy. It was fantastic, but I had to kind
You
of
were working.
compose myself. Yeah,
You
yeah,
were working last week, no doubt about
yeah,
it. We made you
yeah.
work hard. Sorry about
and
that.
then and then on top of it, I was doing the job of convincing two people. But honestly, like so much fun, and that is kind of the reason for a show like this, because it's one thing if we're both on the same page and we're just gushing about how much we love something or how something's affected us, but it is really fascinating when art like
Mm.
separates people because people come from different walks of life. They have different life experiences. They are expecting different things. And so, I really thought the conversation was so much fun and a really fantastic episode.
I agree. I maintain you were working hard. You worked real hard on that one, buddy. And I'm grateful you
Well,
did.
and to be honest, that's part of the reason why we're doing tonight's episode on this Saturday Night Live is because I pride myself on doing as much research as possible and putting a lot of work into the show. I love this show, and I love the things that we are planning on doing with this show. And I just felt that there wasn't enough time with my family vacation and travel to put the energy into a movie, because much like the Albert Brooks episode, like that, and I rewatched the documentary on Albert Brooks, or other movie. Like I'm watching other things. Oh, I watched Easy Rider for the last Albert Brooks episode, right? So like it's not just watching the movie.
I know. I almost wonder if Justin. First of all, Justin was so confused. He thought he was watching Coming to America until the
Yeah,
night
that's
before,
great.
and then he was all confused. But me, I usually kind of do a toned down version of what you're talking about, and
Yeah.
I didn't for that movie. I just watched the movie, and I almost wish that or at least I wonder if like maybe if I did the documentary and a few other things like you did, if I would have then had a different appreciation for it because
Yeah.
man, you were working hard, but Justin and I agreed hard.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
it's one of
it
those
was
movies
great.
I feel like now I need to watch it again. I say that every single
Yeah.
time. I go, what am I missing?
Well, you're not missing anything really. We and it's all opinion, and it's all good.
Yeah, we don't
Like
have to
even
get. Yeah, that's true. We don't have to
yeah,
match on every single one.
exactly. But I just thought this would be sort of an easy sort of topic that we could discover broadly talking about Saturday Night Live, because it just so happens to connect to a very famous year of the show, which is known as the Weird Year, season 11, the 85-86
But yeah,
season.
1985 years, so you're on brand still. We should.
Yes.
If this one is a broadcast year.
What do you mean?
I mean, that's the name of this particular episode, a broadcast year.
Oh, I see. I thought that was terminology that you had.
Felt the same way about Enemy Mine, just meh. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, we all kind of. I think we all kind of agreed on that one.
yeah.
Ooh, egg drop soup and lemon ginger tea sounds great because I do have a tiny bit of the throat scratch. Also, you know what it is? Did you ever have COVID, Brandon?
Yeah, I had it. I had it once. Ironically, it was given to me by next week's guest, which we'll announce at the end of the show.
That's funny. The thing they talk about, the brain fog, where like I really
Yeah.
can't focus on much. If
Yeah.
I was doing other things, I wouldn't have been able to do the show. But because I've literally
Yeah.
been laying on the couch in and out of sleep all day, it was
Yeah.
like no problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, the brain fog's real. I don't feel here. I feel like I'll watch this
I-
back to see how it went.
well, it's going great so far. I had it.
Tell your friend.
I had it maybe a year and a half after everything got crazy, and we were still in the 5-day quarantine phase. So I was actually in this room for 5 days.
Wow.
I have my own bathroom in here, and there's like a pull-out couch and stuff. But I watched so many movies. It was
Interesting.
wonderful.
So
I-
that's
I-
what I thought. I go, ooh, I'll just settle in. But I kept trying to put movies on. So I knew I couldn't watch anything new because I couldn't take it in.
Yeah,
My brain couldn't process. But then I thought, oh, I'll just put on some old, easy, like brainless movies, like
Yeah.
brainless, like Die Hard 2, like brainless
Yeah.
stuff. And even that, I found myself not watching and kind of just going to sleep to. It was really just
Yeah.
noise to fall asleep to.
yeah,
Oh well.
which is good. Which is good too.
Thanks for being so supportive. But regardless, I'm actually glad that you not only wanted to do this an episode this week, but then also kind of push me too, because I think the consistency of us showing up is really what this is all about.
Yeah, and I had said to you, I pitched this as a bonus episode because of my vacation and
Yeah.
because of my timeline, but it just so happened to weirdly work out that SNL is in the news this week because
A
the
lot.
Hire and Fire list has come out this week.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, we either talk about SNL this week or we just
Skip it.
don't talk about it. Yeah. So yeah, let's. This is the season 11 of Saturday Night Live, 1985-1986 season. Um,
Oh wait, what's the
this.
name of the show, Brandon?
Oh crap!
I thought I was. Should we just
It's
pop in the tape?
yeah. Let's pop in the tape.
Piece of cake. It's like we know what we're doing.
It's like the bit has become like, when is the intro gonna happen?
How how many minutes in before they realized
Yeah.
they didn't play the intro bit?
Yeah, I guess Justin probably holds that record because we were what, like 30 minutes in before we played the intro.
Well, in all fairness, Justin's a hard one to wrangle because he's very
Yeah.
excitable anyway, and then whenever he gets here, he loves this so much that he just
Yeah.
geeks out.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so yeah, we're going to be talking about Saturday Night Live for a bit of time here. Maybe let's begin with your connection to Saturday Night Live, Jay.
Okay.
Uh, you worked at 30 Rock. I know that you worked on the first season of Conan, but a couple of times in our conversation, you've dropped that you worked on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, it's funny. My adult me realizes that there was a difference. Well, I've always said my whole life I worked on Saturday Night Live. I actually never worked for Saturday Night Live. I always worked for NBC, but on
Yeah.
those shows. So I worked on Conan. I worked on Saturday Night Live. I worked on Rosie O'Donnell. I worked on the Today Show. I worked on Dateline. Before it was Dateline, it was called Now with Katie Couric, and
Yeah.
and I was a senior in high school.
Yeah.
For real. Yeah, I mean, you know, we've looked at the pictures on this show before, but you know, I had a little talk show like this in
Well,
high school.
we actually haven't seen the pictures on this show. You've shown them
Oh.
on Late Night Playset, but I would love
Well,
for you to show those photos
shit.
on this show.
Yeah, I mean, here's me as a kid hosting my little talk show at the high school, thinking I was, you know, all fancy pants.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, these were all different versions of the set for the
And
show.
and you know, people watching, this is a huge clue into the reason why Jay owns David Letterman's desk and chairs and microphone and runs his own weekly late night talk
Yeah.
show. The
Look
late
at these
night
pictures
Playset.
I was drawing instead of doing schoolwork in school. Like that's the desk and chairs we're sitting at right now.
Yeah.
Or I'm sitting at. It's crazy. It's really pretty crazy.
But,
And then yeah. So I mean, here, let me put us back up here. This is where it gets tricky when I have to use my brain and push buttons. Sorry, buddy, it's coming.
it's all good.
Um,
But you were working at 30 Rockefeller Center.
Yeah,
in
so
New
I
York
was
City.
failing all my classes in high school in Wilton, Connecticut because I was working in the TV studio doing my little show, and we would like book soap opera actors and musicians from New York City and stuff, and weathermen and you know like real celebrities, and everybody was really impressed with it, even though the show wasn't very good. The fact that it was getting done was pretty impressive to people. And so the school set up an internship with me where on junior year, where I would go down to the local in Norwalk, Connecticut. There was a local News 12. They did a bunch of live shows a day, but it was a little local television station, and I interned there. And then senior year, and I even started doing my little rinky-dink show down there at one point. And then senior year, I had already been down to 30 Rock a bunch because of my aunt knew Paul Schaefer, and she always got us tickets. And Conan had just started. Anyway, one thing led to another, and I ended up getting facilitating an internship of my own there. And so senior year, not every single day, but a bunch of days a week, I would go down to 30 Rock and be I wasn't an intern for them. I was a production assistant, I guess, because they didn't have an internship program for what I was doing because I was in the technical side. They saw that I had an aptitude and an interest in all of this, the cables and the audio and all of the technical stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did senior year when everyone else was, you know, figuring out what the prank would be or what they're going to wear to graduation. I was working on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
It is crazy to think about right now, but yeah, and all those shows. And then I
So
went back. It's funny because I don't know why, but I for some reason says more about me, I guess. But I never think anyone will remember me. And then
yeah,
so anytime we ever went back to 30 Rock later in life, like I went a bunch. I used to freelance there after my dad died and stuff. So I would day play and stuff. But
yeah,
call it 10, 15 years later, going back with my wife Nicole and seeing the few people that were still there from my day,
yeah.
and they all remembered me. Like Joey Abig from Conan remembered me. He's like, "Oh, we used to have some great times," and some SNL people remembered me. And they ended up. We went back for. It's funny. I just pulled this up for our show the other day, but I'll pull it up here too. We went back for a show in like 2010, and they put us in the front row. That's me in the front row.
Wow, what episode is that?
That's Rosario Dawson, so whatever that would have been. And it was
Okay,
Fleet Foxes was the band.
I'm
And Chris Rock
I'm
is the one
definitely
who got
gonna
us
look that up.
tickets.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. And then so
on my pen. Where's my
the
pen?
girl to my left with the boots that's kind of a little bit closer to camera. That's Colin
Yeah.
Londano. She was a producer on Everybody Hates Chris. She also used to be Chris Rock's assistant, but most importantly for our story, she's the one that introduced my wife and I.
Oh, cool. And that's
Yeah.
Nicole on the far end, like kind of looking down. And
It's
and
actually
you're
not.
and
It's actually not, but a
okay.
lot of people think it's her. It sure looks like her.
Where is she?
I didn't know her yet.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I see. I see.
That's a different girl. She doesn't have a name right now for our purposes.
I see. You hadn't met Nicole yet, but I see you. I see you in the front row there. That's
Yeah,
super
plain
cool.
as day. So I made
Yeah.
Kristen Wiig at the store. I can't remember how or why it came up, but that was right before the cold open. Obviously, that was the monologue, and I made Kristen Wiig laugh right before the show started.
Wow.
I have no idea why I started telling you that. My head is all over the place, buddy. I'm so
No,
confused.
no, that's honestly like that's kind of what I'm fascinated about. I've never been to 30 Rock.
Oh,
I'm
it's
yeah.
magic, man. It's magic. It's
I
the antenna to the world.
I am a big SNL fan. I actually just before this story, I posted, sorry, just before the stream in our Blockbuster Year Instagram, I posted. I have like all of the DVD like best ofs.
Yeah,
I think I'm missing like two or three of them. Some of the like the really obscure ones.
like
Uh,
the Chris Farley's, the Will Ferrell's, the all of
yes,
those. Okay.
but I have the Funhouse cartoons. I
Oh
have the
wow,
well, like these ones here. Actually, I pulled like these DVDs here.
wow.
The
Yeah,
best
John
of.
Lovitz. That's obscure.
Yeah, and then this one
You
I
think I don't know
forgot
that?
that
I
I
know
had.
that. Oh, that was Martin Short, wasn't it?
Yeah, this one I forgot that I had that I didn't see, and I feel bad because I didn't have time to watch this documentary. But this is like a 2-hour documentary on SNL in the '80s, which maybe there's some fun facts in here. But
And then I just realized too. You're right. There was a couple of here's pictures. Sorry to keep doing this, but here's me
no,
back
no,
as a kid working at the first set of Conan.
yeah,
That
look
was
at
most people don't even remember that set.
the camera in the lower bottom has the late night with
Yeah,
Conan
the original
O'Brien.
logo.
Yeah,
The door in the back of the set does too.
yeah.
And then
I
like
have
here's
a
the
I
today
have a
this.
shirt that I found at the thrift store with that old logo.
Oh, cool. Yeah, they used to give them to us. We had a bunch. And this was the puffy shirt set from the Today Show when it used to be upstairs from Seinfeld. Oh well,
Wow.
doesn't matter. They were just living.
No, it's I love it. I think it's so cool that like your connection to this stuff. So when you were a production assistant on SNL, do you remember what years that was? What cast?
Yeah, I sure as shit do. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it was the end and the beginning. Speaking of a transition year, it was 94,
Yeah.
95. So I saw the end of um, Chris Farley,
Wow.
Adam Sandler. I feel like Chris Rock was there. Maybe not.
Incredible.
But it was the end of all the. Remember, they fired like a whole. The show was just killing, and then
Yeah.
they got rid of everybody and everything for like the '95, I guess, year, and then that was Will Ferrell and Sherry O'Terry and Nancy Walls
Yeah.
and Molly Shannon and David Koechner and Daryl
Wow.
Hammond, like all that year where they changed the set from the
Yeah.
old set to the streetscape, and they fired G.E. Smith, the guitar player. Like it literally felt, other than the space, it felt like an entire new show than from one year to the
Yeah.
next. There were only a couple
And
carryovers. I think Spade might have stayed, or maybe Spade was gone too. I think Spade stayed. There was a few people that
was
stayed.
was Norm Weekend Update at that
Hmm.
point?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and Celebrity Jeopardy, like all the best stuff.
Oh yeah. It's a big hat. It's a big hat.
We talked about that the other day. That's so funny. Yes, that's what brought up this conversation on the show the other day. That's funny. So we
Kurt
had Johnny
Ferguson.
Lieberman on the late night playset, and it turns out his
Yeah.
wife used to work at Saturday Night Live, and she's an
Oh yeah.
actress and a writer and stuff like that. I didn't know any of that. So I guess she was there that same time
Yeah.
talking about the big hat,
Yeah.
Turd Ferguson.
Kurt Ferguson, absolute legend. So what
Yeah.
kind of stuff were you doing at NBC at that time then as a production assistant? Just technical stuff?
Yeah, it depended on the show. It depend. Well, yeah, no, not really, just technical stuff, but mainly, it depended on the show. I would get an assignment, almost like the pages get an assignment, and like on one show for a month or whatever.
Yeah.
And I would go do like Conan. I was heavily into audio stuff, so I would put mics on guests. They had me as an A2 position, which is like a secondary audio position, moving cable around, following, you know, the guy with the big boom thing, like making sure
Yeah.
his wheels are clear. Just things like that, like ancillary accessory, you know, like secondary positions. Nothing very important. Nothing, I was a kid. They
Yeah.
liked they liked that. Oh, here's a kid who's interested, and this is cool. We'll let him do stuff, but they wouldn't let me do
Yeah.
anything too important. Obviously, I wasn't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
mixing the show.
No.
And
But you
then
were
and then it
around.
depended on the show. Like Rosie O'Donnell, I was really more of a. They treated me more of like a gopher. Like, can you run
Yeah.
down to the commissary, get this, get that.
Yeah. Get more
There was
koosh
a time.
balls.
Yeah, funny you mentioned that. So I did actually. That's hilarious you mentioned that. Unwrapping new koosh balls was a job I had one time. Also, in the nature of bizarreness, she had Barbara Streisand on once.
Yeah.
And there were two things that happened bizarrely for that appearance. One was we had to shift the home base around because Barbara would only be photographed from one side, which meant they had to
Interesting.
switch the desk to the other side and the chairs to the other side, which seems like it wouldn't be a big deal, except that you then have to light around all of it. Like everything's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
So it was a huge deal. And then I didn't have too much to do with that other than observe it. But the other thing they did for Barbara was they flew in like I don't even know the number. I'm going to guess and say 10,000, but it very well may have been more than that. It could have been 100,000 white roses. I guess Barbara likes white roses or whatever the heck.
Yeah.
So guess who's me and a bunch of other interns, it was their job to go pick the good roses from the bad roses, put the good roses in a pile, keep the you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
not only was there X amount of roses, we had to pick the 10,000 best ones from the 100,000 or whatever.
Wow.
Just bizarre stuff like that. Saturday Night Live, I found myself doing a lot during the week and then very little during the show. Again, I think it comes down to liability and what can this person, what are they actually contributing? Or are we doing them a favor by letting them
Yeah.
stay here? So
Yeah.
like I'd be running around all week doing stuff. And another thing too is I really, really wanted to learn. So I was like a sponge. So I would just kind of find a dark corner where somebody was doing something, and then I'd be like, "Oh, hi, so I'm Jay. I'm blah blah blah. I'm working over there. Blah, blah, blah. But what's
Yeah.
this all about, or whatever?" And I'd learn about from cue cards to lighting to whatever.
So cool. Just the
The
just
paint
the fact that
department,
you're,
the set dressing
Yeah.
department, the set creating department, the frick Eugene Lee and the well, I think he's since passed away, but it used to be Eugene Lee was the production designer, and watching all the sets come in because they bring them in across the street, which goes down and underneath 30 Rock, and then up the freight elevator. It was really complicated how it all worked, and I was fascinated by all that. So
Yeah, I mean,
just take it
like
all in.
if people don't actually know, like SNL and these the Rosie O'Donnell and Conan and all these, they're it's a studio built in like a high rise,
Mm-hmm.
whereas in like Los Angeles, studios are one level in a really big building, all
Standalone,
on,
yeah.
yeah, all on ground level. But
Yep.
because it's New York City, you have to build up. So
Yeah.
there's so many more complications in moving stuff around, or like,
Well,
it,
everything you said is true, but beyond that, that building was originally built for radio. That entire
Yeah.
complex was built in the days of radio. I mean, it's Radio City for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and 30 Rock and Radio City and the rest of Rockefeller, that side of Rockefeller Center, were all built and developed at the same time. So those studios, they were built to hold audiences,
Yeah.
and they were built to have audio capabilities, but they never were meant to have sets and lights and all of that other stuff. And so they've all
Yeah.
just been, you know, kind of made into magic over the years when they were never supposed to be used for that purpose. If that makes
Yeah.
sense. But you're
Yeah.
right. It's like kind of like Severance, because you go in these hallways and these elevators and everything is very bizarre, and then you go through one door and all of a sudden you're in some famous space that you've seen 1,000 times.
Yeah. Yeah. So is 8H, is that like the eighth floor, or is that just okay?
Yep.
And then
So-
it's like Studio H. Is that what 8H is?
Yep.
This-
That's the code.
Okay.
You broke the code.
Yeah.
And 8G is right next to it. That used to be Rosie. It used to be Donahue. Then it was Rosie. Now it's Seth Meyers.
Oh,
But it's on the same hallway, that checker floor hallway that everyone sees
Yeah.
going to SNL. On one side of that is all SNL backstage production and everything, and on the other side of that is Seth Meyers.
Man, I guess I've never really thought about how big 30 Rockefeller, the building, is for it to have multiple studios on a floor.
There are multiple studio floors. The third floor
Yeah.
is a studio floor. The sixth floor is a studio floor, and the and the eighth floor, is a studio floor. And most of those, well, 6 and 8 are 2 stories each. So the sixth floor studios are the sixth and seventh floors, and the eighth floor studios are the eighth and ninth floors. So like if you go to SNL as an audience member, you're going to enter on 9, and then you go down into the bleachers. Whereas the studio floor is on 8. Same thing with
That makes sense.
Conan and Jimmy Fallon.
I've never really thought about that. Yeah, of course it's like a two story because you need the height, but also
Right.
your audience is up there, your
Yep.
booth is up there.
Sometimes, yep.
Yeah, wow. See, that's the insight. That's what's so cool. I'm just a spectator, right?
I mean, nobody has ever asked me to explain this stuff before, believe it or not. So it's kind of fun, I guess. Also, I'm remembering it in a very funny way because my head's a little odd. I'm wondering. Oh, that's nice. Thanks.
I just love that that's the comment that got left up. Hi, Kip.
Go to bed. Thanks, Don.
Yeah,
Don Giller
after
from
he's
the
finished his episode.
Don. What's that?
I said you can go to bed after you finish the episode.
Don Giller is of the Don Giller Letterman YouTube channel. If anybody knows that YouTube channel.
Is that who we were talking about last week? Because I
Yeah.
pulled that Albert Brooks clip.
Yeah, you pulled it from his YouTube channel. Exactly.
Yes, thank you, Don, for compiling all that stuff. I watched almost all 2 hours of those Albert Brooks, David Letterman appearances.
Yeah, he does he's working for the actual Letterman channel now, so he can't do the uploads he used to do, and I'm happy that they have what they have, but I'm also kind of bummed out because he really was killing it with what he was doing. But there are plenty of things to see there.
Yeah. Well, let's get into this topic a little deeper. So season 11 of SNL started in 1985 and went off into the 1986 season, and it's known as the Weird Year, and part of the reason behind its like significance is Lorne Michaels, the original creator of SNL. He had been gone since 1981, right? He created the show. It premiered in 1975 with Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd. Go ahead.
Well, I don't want to cut you off, but if you've seen the movie Saturday Night,
yeah.
Lorne is constantly arguing with another executive named Dick Ebersol. Do you remember those scenes?
Yep. Philip Seymour
so
Hoffman's son.
After the 5 years, Dick Ebersol took over the show.
Yeah, I should have pulled it. I have it up there. I actually really enjoyed the movie a lot. It may not be like, not everything is factually truthful to that specific night. The timeline is very condensed, but as like a film, it has like such like a pumping energy through it. It's like chaotic. And
personally, I think it's a better Birdman than Birdman.
That's a good way to put it. I think it's almost like Uncut Gems, where it's just like it's like a little bit hard to watch because it's like so chaotic.
There's an
But
intensity. There's an intensity
yeah,
that they hit
totally.
really, really well. I was very impressed with that
I
movie.
think the actors did such an incredible job. Specifically, the actor who plays Dan Aykroyd
Oh,
just
excellent.
nailed Dan
Yeah.
Aykroyd. Is the way Dan Aykroyd talks that I wish I knew his name. I didn't think
I
we
don't know
would
any
talk
of
about.
their names, and they're all impressive. So I looked at all of them and I go, I don't know. And then they start talking and embodying the person.
Yes,
Oh, it's so impressive. So
and
impressive.
I think that there is something to be said about portraying a notable person versus portraying a notable comedian, because not only do you have to be convincing as the person, but you also have to be funny.
Mm.
Like there is something special about the casting of those people because they're all funny but also playing famous funny people. It's
Well,
really
yeah,
interesting.
you're right. And they're replicating funny moments and scenes that we've
Yes.
already seen and know they're funny. So how do they make them fresh and funny?
Yes, and
I don't know, but you're right. They nail that part.
if they don't deliver on Chevy Chase's funny while he's doing Weekend Update or doing the sketch, then it falls apart.
My only if I had to make a complaint, and it's not really a complaint because I don't think we could as an audience deal with it being any more of a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
My only observation I would say is that it's I think let's see, when did I work there? 20, season 20. Is that what that would have been?
Yeah. I think that's I was just looking it up. Yeah, I think so.
It's so much more chaotic on a nightly basis, even at season 20, that I can't imagine that night one wasn't tenfold.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
probably couldn't show us all the things that really happened, you know?
Yeah. It is a super fun movie if people haven't seen it. It's a really good watch. And there is some really cool culturally significant history in that. I mean, we just celebrated the 50th anniversary of SNL.
It's crazy. It's
And I
older than I
can't
am. There's not that
Yeah.
much these days.
So, Lorne Michael leaves in 1981, I believe, and kind of it's a combination of burnout. He's been doing the show for 5 years, um, and some disagreement with the network. So he leaves the show, and
I think it's more the latter which then contributed to the burnout.
yes, yeah,
Personally, from the stories I've heard.
and that's probably what led. Yeah, exactly. What's what led to the burnout. So he leaves the show.
Yep.
Then they have, oh, I cannot remember her name right now. I didn't write it down. They have somebody come in for 1 year to replace Lorne as executive producer, showrunner, and
Oh,
then
it wasn't
after
straight
that,
to Dick Ebersol? That's funny. I didn't
no,
realize.
no, there was one person. There was a woman. I believe she was like a like talent casting person. I can't remember, but then it goes to Dick Ebersol, and Dick Ebersol was brought to NBC as I wrote it down here, the director of weekend late night programming.
Yep. And you remember what
And
the
so,
reasoning was, right? Because
yes,
weekday programming was Johnny Carson back then.
yes.
And they
And
had their
then,
own. David Tebbutt, I believe, was the executive in charge.
yeah, and Saturday night, you were saying, and they actually convey it in the movie, is when they did reruns of old Johnny Carson episodes.
Yeah. Until
Um,
Johnny wanted, as a contract negotiator, he was like, throw those reruns on Monday night. I can have an extra 3-day weekend.
yeah,
So they were like, well, what do we put on Fridays? Enter Lorne Michaels.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry if I'm
So
talking over you, buddy.
no, 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 no. So in 1985, they bring back Lorne Michaels. They convince him to come back. The show is doing fine,
Yeah.
yeah, SNL has always been like fine or good, right? Like there's lots of great stuff. Yeah, famously ebbs and flows based on the cast and what's going on. So they bring back Lorne Michaels, and his big decision is to start fresh.
Yep.
And in the '84 year, he basically gets rid of Martin Short, Billy Crystal, Christopher Guest, who people know from like Spinal Tap and Waiting for Guffman, Harry Shearer, who's also in Spinal Tap and Simpsons, Jim Belushi, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. All of those people were on the '84 season 10 cast, and he basically just cleaned house and started fresh.
You're reminding me that they did a little of that too, because Janine Garofalo was there the season I was there. Also, you mentioned Spinal Tap. Hello, Lenny and Squiggy.
uh, like, w-
Uh, I can't think of his name. Better Call Saul's brother.
oh, Michael McKean.
Michael McKean was on.
Oh, okay.
Um, and there were a handful of there was a few other people that were like they were just transitioning. They did one season. I
Yeah.
realized this is a pattern, and I think he's doing it again this year. I'm happy. This is
Yeah,
happening in real
yeah.
time.
It does. I mean, it happens all the time. There are so many people that come onto the show, and they may be very, very funny people, but the show is a machine. The show is a monster that eats people and spits them out because you have to create live 90 minutes of live comedy television every single week. It's incredible, really, the feat every single week that they get it done. That there is a show every
Did I
week, right?
did I say a minute ago that Julia Louis Dreyfus was there when I was there? Because that's not true. Sarah Silverman was
No,
there when I was
yeah,
there.
Sarah Silverman was on the show for a
Okay,
brief amount of time, but yeah, Julia Louis Dreyfus was the
I was in the
84,
beginning. Yeah,
83, 84 season. I believe she did two. Um,
I just my
and what's
head's not
actually,
right, and I feel like I'm
yeah,
misspeaking.
no, you're good. I'll correct you if you misspeak.
Thank you.
Um, so they bring back Lauren and
Yeah,
his
and I agree with Don. Lauren left in '80, not '81. The '81 season was the new
yeah.
thing. But either way, yeah. Thanks, Don
Um,
Giller.
yeah, and at that
There it
time,
is.
uh, there was they were talking about canceling SNL. They were like,
Hmm.
it's been 10 years, we've tried it,
Nice long
you
run.
know, yeah. Or I
Let's
guess at
bring back
that
the
point,
Toscanini Orchestra.
yeah. Sorry, that comes to the '85 season. The '85 season, they're talking about canceling it, and that's why they bring Orn on. And his idea is he'll come back and he'll executive produce from a distance, but sort of give the show to Al Franken, or I guess Senator Al Franken, as he's now known, Jim Downey, Tom Davis, and Layla Nabaluji, I believe that's how you pronounce. Give them the show and let them carry it on, and he'll just kind of be off to the side as the kind of the name, right? He's back.
I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'll be there, sure.
Exactly. Um, their big thing they wanted to try in the '85 season was they wanted to cast known people, and they wanted to be specific about their representation. So the first person they cast, actually, if everybody sees in the photo below, is whereas right down here is Terry Sweeney. Terry Sweeney was the first person cast for the '85 season, and he was the first openly gay cast member. And they were being purposeful with that representation. They
Hmm.
wanted that voice. And then they went after Denitra Vance, because they had never had a black woman as a
Right,
cast member. So
right.
they were going for representation, and then they started going after known names, which is why we have Randy Quaid. And Randy Quaid, everybody knows from the Vacation films as Cousin Eddie, but at that time he was actually more of a serious actor. Um, he had been nominated for an Academy Award for a Jack Nicholson movie called The Last Detail. It's a sailor movie. I've never seen it. I've seen the poster. It's like Jack Nicholson with like a sailor hat and a cigar. It's
Huh.
1973 or something. It's yeah, I've never seen it, but Randy Quaid is an Academy Award nominated actor. I actually didn't really know that.
I don't think I did either.
And so he was the
I thought
first
he ran to
vacation.
Canada because he didn't have to pay
Yeah,
his taxes or something. Something was going on.
I think he's back now. I think he's sorted it out because he started doing conventions again.
Oh, okay.
But but the first vacation is 1983. So he's known.
Hmm.
And then they also have Joan Cusack,
Yeah.
who at the time wasn't she was in things but wasn't known. But it's unbelievable that like they put Joan Cusack on SNL, and then Joan Cusack becomes the Joan Cusack that we know.
I mean,
Uh,
everybody up here is incredibly talented, but
yes,
she's one of those people that I think would have made a great SNL performer because she is such a good performer. She changes her look in so many different
yeah.
things.
And then they went out on a limb and hired 17-year-old Anthony Michael Hall right in the center of the photo there
Yep.
because they wanted to skew younger. That was one of the other Lauren's other ideas was to go younger.
Hmm.
Not that the previous casts were older, but is 17 too young to be casting on a weekly live show? I don't know.
That's a good
Uh,
question. What determines that? It does seem
and
like you're not fully developed at that age. Although I think Eddie
yeah,
Murphy wasn't Eddie Murphy 17 or 18 too.
no, I think
Maybe.
he was 19.
Okay.
I feel like he was 19. That we should look that up maybe. But I know that Anthony Michael Hall, I believe, is the youngest cast member at 17.
Is that
And
Nora
then
Dunn on the left? And I'm sorry to
that
cut
is
you off.
yeah. Well, before we move on to Nora Dunn,
Oh,
right
sorry.
above Anthony Michael Hall, his best friend at the time was Robert Downey Jr. So Robert Downey Jr. did a season on SNL at 20 years old.
Mm.
And after
You think that
SNL,
was good for him?
I do because after SNL, he did Chaplin, which got him his Academy Award nomination.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
It also might have
uh,
gotten him into drugs.
yeah, that's true. I mean, he may have already been doing that before.
Ah,
Lauren, yeah, to answer Don's question there, did Lauren get rid of Short, etc., or did they leave on their own? No, Lauren got rid of them all.
mm.
Lauren completely cleaned house. So he brings in Anthony Michael Hall, Robert Downey Jr., and then Nora Dunn on the very end there. Finds Nora Dunn and John Lovitz. And that sort of rounds out the initial cast. The only person missing from this photo, and it's because he's a featured player, is Damon Wayans.
Oh, I
Damon
remember
Wayans,
Damon during that. Yeah, but
yeah,
he was never
yeah.
used real well.
No, no, and that's ultimately what led to his downfall and ultimately him getting fired from the show was he was being underutilized and then when he was being utilized it was very stereotypical black characters that he was not happy with playing.
Right, he was broader.
Yes. So, like the intention of this cast was they're all established, they're all so talented. I mean, Denitra, they found her at a department store. Apparently, they
Wow.
found her at Bloomingdale's, and then they brought her onto the show.
Was she
And
working or
when
shopping?
she was working. She worked
Wow.
at Bloomingdale's, the department store, and
That's a
they found her. And then when she got cast, they said you can quit your job, and she said, "No, I don't think so." And she kept her job for the time being. Probably a smart move because she only lasted 1 year. I mean, they all did, mostly all of them. But the idea behind this, like on paper, that should work. You have all of these people, a combination of people that the audience knows and recognizes from other things, like Anthony Michael Hall. I mean, 1985 is a huge year for Anthony Michael Hall. We're going to talk about him a couple of times on this podcast. Robert Downey Jr. has been in some movies at this point already. He's kind of a well-known name. Randy Quaid, we mentioned. So I see what he was going for, but ultimately, they just didn't vibe,
Randy Quaid's
right?
a weird choice to me because of his physical nature. He's so insanely tall that there are only so many things you can use that giant tall guy with.
Well, Lauren, I believe, said he can play Ronald Reagan. That was his
Oh,
right. That
okay.
was his like. Okay, right.
I didn't know that.
And you have to sort. I guess when you're casting, you kind of got to think about that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, Ronald Reagan was not a notoriously tall guy either, but he also doesn't look like him, and I can't imagine his impression being that great. But
Yeah,
sorry, Randy.
I think it was more just he was just well known. Like it's funny to say, but Randy Quaid was like the biggest name on this cast at this point, just based on his acting career, his Academy Award nomination at this time in
Mm,
1985. it's weird.
Yeah.
The weird year.
What a weird
Um,
year.
a couple of fun things that I like that are some of the writers that brought on Robert Smigel.
Ooh, this is a good
Uh,
question at the same time.
yeah, so mostly, basically, he cleaned sweep the writers and the cast, but then brought back people like Al Franken and Tom Davis and Jim Downey, who he had worked with in previous years. Uh, but what I was just about to say is he brought on Robert Smigel.
Mm.
And people may not know Robert Smigel's name, but they probably know Triumph the Insult Comic Dog.
Well, or if you watched anything on Conan the first couple of years, he was the
Yes.
mouth in every single thing they did, and he was
Yes.
there all the time.
Robert Smigel did all of the TV Funhouse cartoons on SNL.
Yep.
Robert Smigel is one of the funniest people in existence, and like famously like a kind of like in the shadows writer type. He does have a couple of. He's in This Is 40. We were talking about This Is
Yeah,
40 on the Albert Brooks episode.
he
He
is.
plays uh is it their friend? I can't remember, but he's in This Is 40. But yeah, I mean, I've always loved Robert Smigel as Insult or Triumph the Insult Comic Dog. All of
I remember the
those.
day they built that puppet theater for
Oh
him. I remember the day they did it. I remember the day they did it. I remember the day they wheeled it in and got approvals and
yeah,
changed things, and then had to like change the curtain and then brought it back in, and then they started using it.
I have
It's
I have
crazy.
watched I have watched the Triumph like at the Phantom Menace Star Wars Episode One video so many times. He
Which one of
just
these buttons calls your mother to have them pick you up?
yes, exactly when he's interviewing Darth Vader. Oh man, an absolute legend. Years ago, Renee and I went to a comedy festival in LA, Festival Supreme. It was Jack Black and Kyle Gass from Tenacious D. Like it was their comedy festival,
Mm-hmm.
and Triumph was one of the guests. So
Oh,
we got to
hilarious.
see Triumph live. And Robert Smigel was like behind like it was like a puppet show thing. Like he really was behind it
Yeah.
doing Triumph. Conan came out, Sarah Silverman, Eric Andre. I think that they were all special guests at this Triumph show. So cool to see in person. Um, that the '85 season also brought in two Canadian comedy icons from Kids in the Hall. Did you ever watch Kids in the Hall?
Yeah, of course. I'm the
Okay,
chicken lady. Ah!
so Mark McKinney
I
and
also worked
Bruce
with
Mc.
David Foley on
Oh, okay.
News Radio.
Oh, I didn't see. I didn't know you worked on news radio. That's so cool. I love that show.
And Bruce McCulloch
Uh,
came to read for us on Everybody Hates Chris once, but he didn't get the part.
so people might know Mark McKinney now from Superstore, the TV show Superstore. He plays Glenn on Superstore. He's
Oh,
so funny.
Studio
Um,
60 for me. He came in as a sketch writer on Studio 60, but he also
okay.
has always like if there's a show that has a sketch comedy thing in it, he'll come work on the show
Yeah.
to write the sketches in the show so that they seem
Yeah.
more realistic for the show, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Kids in the Hall are like they're part of that Canadian legendary comedy world
Well, and
for
Lorne
us.
used to produce it, didn't he?
Uh,
Next to
maybe you're,
positive. I'd put any amount
yeah,
of money on it.
you're right. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean,
Ding, 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 ding.
every time I go to Toronto, I walk down, I believe it's Queen Street, and
Mm.
that's where the Rivoli is, which is this famous Toronto venue, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where like Kids in the Hall started. And so
Oh,
every
wow.
single time I walk by it, and I just marvel. I just look at this brick building with this yellow and black sign out front and go, "Oh my God!" Like that's where Kids in the Hall started.
I agree. Of all of those sketch comedy troupes, they were unique. They really
Yeah,
were unique and just doing their own thing. Also, so solid. Some of the other ones, like even SCTV, it seems like it's hit and miss. The Kids in the Hall ones are all just fucking wins. That head on the
yeah.
table bit cracks me up every single time.
I feel like, and this is like I love both SCTV and Kids in the Hall, but SCTV to me seems like wacky, goofy, silly, whereas like Kids in the Hall has that, but there's like this like weird like smart level above all of the
Yeah,
silly
I agree with
and
all of that. There's an
and
intellectual level.
yes, I got to meet Dave Foley, and he referred well because he we were talking about Monty Python,
Mm.
and he's like Monty Python is the Beatles and we were the Clash,
Oh shit, that's
and
awesome.
I was like that's a cool analogy, right?
Yeah.
It's like the Beatles obviously they are the biggest thing. They're creating all of the kind of like the way that popular music is working, and then the Clash is like this like cool punk band that's also putting out great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just
But
never
you
thought
don't
about like
compare the two. Is
exactly.
the idea right?
But I won't forget that. I'll never forget that. That Dave Foley told me that Kids in the Hall is like the Clash to Monty Python's Beatles.
Dude, this rad coming from a member of the Clash.
Yeah. um. Yeah. So the casting was done. They had their writers, and then they started doing the shows. And the first episode was Madonna, and I haven't really seen any sketches from that first episode, but apparently it's really dark. It's
Yeah,
really cerebral. It's really like it nothing like is meshing. Nobody's vibing. A lot of this information comes from a Peacock documentary that came out last year called Beyond Saturday Night, and they did an episode on this
ca-
1985
called the Weird Year, right?
called The Weird Year. And that was the first time I had seen actually some of that Madonna,
Hmm.
because oh, and in that first episode, two of my favorite performers were in that is are the magicians Penn and Teller.
Oh, I love them.
Just
Yeah.
just just like next level comedy magic performers. You know, they have a show in Vegas, but I've always gravitated towards Penn and Teller because they do they like show you the trick, and then they would like show you how they did the trick, and even in showing you how they do tricks, it's just as impressive, if
Yep.
maybe if not more impressive, because you're seeing the things that they're tricking you with, or how they're moving things sleight of hand.
We talked
And
about an
they've
intellectual component earlier. The intelligence of the Penn and Teller material is so good. It's always
yes,
so good. It doesn't matter if they're tearing a card in half or if they're shooting something
yeah,
with an arrow. Like it's
yeah,
all so impressive.
yeah. And then they you know Penn does all the talking, and Teller never talks as the character Teller when he's on stage. Any performances where they are Penn and Teller, Teller never speaks.
Yeah.
So years ago, I went to Vegas, and one of the most important things was I needed to see Penn and Teller live, and I did. Amazing show.
Awesome.
And the best part about them is they come out into the hallway after the show. At that time, who knows if they still do it,
Mhm.
and they will meet anybody who wants to talk to them.
It's awesome.
And so they're on two ends of the hallway, and you can go and you can meet Penn, get your photo with Penn. He'll autograph your souvenir book or whatever. Then you can go and meet Teller. But when you meet Teller in the hallway, he talks, and
Ah,
I couldn't believe it. It absolutely blew my mind that I was talking to Teller and hearing his voice.
mm-hmm.
It was absurd. And then I ended up waiting around to the very end, and there was nobody left. And I just said, "Hey, do you think I could get a photo with both of you together?" And they said, "Of course." And they both came together, and so I
Awesome.
have a picture with Penn and Teller together.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
So cool.
wonderful, wonderful people, and they treated everybody in that audience coming out just with the utmost respect and love, and it was it's great. They they uh they, their first trick on SNL was that '85 season where Teller is in a water tank, And the trick is, in order for him to get out of the tank, he has to identify the card that's been pulled from the audience. And in the documentary,
Is this the one? Well, I don't want to give it away, but eventually it ends up in the mask. I've
yes,
seen
it
that a
shows up.
bunch. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So in the documentary, Penn talks about how they had never really, or I guess there was risk that it wasn't going to work. They legitimately, Penn thought that he was going to have to pull the safety on the water tank and dump all of the water in the studio, because I imagine it was probably taking longer than they had anticipated.
Right, but as I mentioned earlier, that would have dumped. We're in a high rise. We're not on a
Yeah.
sound stage in Burbank, so this would have
Yes.
doused a lot.
Yes, it
Don
would
Giller says he
have.
checked. Billy Crystal had a 1-year contract and chose not to return. His decision, not Lawrence.
That
Same
may
with
be
Short.
the case, but as far as I know from everything else, the Lawrence concept was clean sweep. So whether or not that was something that Billy Crystal said,
Right.
the whole point was that Lauren was coming in and making it his show. He didn't want to carry over any of Dick Ebersol's choices, essentially.
Right.
Um,
In that
uh,
movie, Saturday Night, it's kind of interesting watching the bits with the character who plays Billy Crystal and how
yes,
he cut himself out of the pilot by by being a little too
and
rigid.
I actually that was one of the things that I learned from the Saturday Night movie is I actually didn't know that Billy Crystal was supposed to be on that very first episode of SNL.
Or was up. Yeah, it was in consideration. He never
Yeah,
made the board.
exactly. Episode 2 of the season was Chevy Chase, and I've seen some of the stuff from that episode. Um, uh, he was promoting Spies Like Us, which is a movie we're gonna cover. He apparently was really hard to deal with and kind of had a bit of an attitude about coming back to the show. Um, his monologue is really weird. It's he's got like a really weird energy during the monologue. If anybody can find it, I do recommend watching it because it's interesting to see someone as funny as Chevy Chase like not land jokes.
Mm.
Um, but that is that the episode? Yes. So that second episode kind of launches John Lovitz because that is the first appearance of the pathological liar.
Oh wow.
Probably John Lovett's most famous character. Maybe people know
From Saturday Night Live, yeah.
yeah, yeah. People might know like the thespian. I guess it kind of depends on what you like.
I'm with
But
you. I think yeah, that's the ticket.
yeah,
That's the
exactly.
SNL character for me.
Yeah,
He's got other ones, The Wedding Crasher, etc.
yeah, yeah. My wife, Morgan Fairchild.
But yeah, that's the ticket.
Yeah, that's the ticket. So yeah, we get John Lovitz just absolutely crushing with Pathological Liar, and it was an obvious hit. People loved it, and throughout the course of the season, Pathological Liar keeps showing up to the point where in episode 3, which is hosted by Pee Wee Herman, not Paul Rubens. That pathological liar sketch with Pee Wee, I've seen so many times
Hmm.
because they're both doing the bit,
Right, Pee Wee's
and
doing it back exactly.
yes, and it works. It works for Pee Wee.
Don Killer's making a point over
Yeah,
here. We get it, Don.
yeah. That's not how the documentary conveys it. So take it up with those filmmakers.
Nice.
Um, but like John Lovitz, like he hits in this season. So it's so interesting that this is known as like the weird year or like a huge misfire, but yet we get somebody from it that
Hmm.
is as iconic as
What?
John Lovitz is, right?
I think this is what Lorne does, right? This is kind of Lorne's magic that happened in the beginning and then not in those 5 years he wasn't there. He's
Yeah.
kind of able to see people that have a spark of some sort, and then somehow they cultivate it into something we like.
Well, and I've heard people say like what he does best is he finds his quote not ready for primetime players
Right.
and he prepares them and gets them ready for prime time.
Gets him over the hump. Right. That was the original
Exactly.
premise 50 years ago.
Yeah. So something happened with this cast, with the writers, where things just weren't meshing. Yeah, the Pee Wee and the Pee Wee episode in itself is kind of just like this interesting time capsule because how often in the history of SNL does a character host the show? Because
Other
then
than Pee Wee, I don't know that I could think of that. Not
because now
maybe
you
the
have to
case.
write this character in all the sketches and he doesn't like change costumes
Don
like
Giller, you
in
weren't there. You can't quote fact. What is your source? Why don't you quote your source and watch the last detail and earn some cred? All right, Don Giller. He's mad at
there's
you
a
for
lot of
stealing his YouTube video the other day.
hey, his credit. I didn't edit out his credit. His credit's in there. There's a lot of movies out there, Don. We can't watch them all. Um, where are we here? Oh yeah. So yeah, like it's really interesting to have Pee Wee come on and host the show as Pee Wee. But it's a very very fun episode.
Hmm.
We also have not pictured in here is Dennis Miller. We forgot to talk about Dennis Miller because Dennis Miller comes in the '85 season, and depending on who you are, I think Dennis Miller is probably in a lot of people's like top three for sure of Weekend Update hosts.
Hmm.
You know,
I'm trying to think what it would be for me. I don't know if it would be in my top three,
I
but
know I know who my number one is.
Go ahead.
Norm Macdonald.
Same here.
Yeah, that's a no brainer.
Yeah, but then
Um,
because of my life and the years that I was watching Saturday Night Live, I'd probably say Kevin Nealon before that, just because he was there.
yeah,
I don't know that he was
he
so great. It's just that that's like the one I was consuming. And then I go back to Aykroyd and Curtin back in the beginning, you know.
yeah. For me, it's Norm Macdonald, and then it's the current Colin Jost, Michael Che.
Oh, all right. We're
Oh,
talking. I mean, yeah, there's been some good ones. Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, Tina Fey and Jimmy
yeah,
Fallon. Yeah.
yeah. I would go. Oh, I
So all
love
of a
Tina
sudden,
and
Dennis Miller's going down my list.
well, I love Tina and Amy, but I think I like Seth and Amy. And I like Seth Meyers a lot, but I think I really enjoyed the Seth Meyers Amy Poehler dynamic. And then maybe Dennis Miller, but Dennis Miller is just he has such a unique delivery
He
that
does.
he's iconic in my mind. But yeah, Norm Macdonald is leaps and bounds above everybody. My favorite Weekend Update anchor. In the episode 4, John Lovitz hits with another The Master Thespian, which we had talked before. Acting, right? That's just like a thing people still say that they may not actually even know came from SNL and that John Lovitz, John Lithgow episode of 1985.
Hmm.
What else do we got here? That's fun. Oh, Tom Hanks, first time he ever hosted was in the 1985 season, and obviously, like Tom Hanks goes on to be one of the best SNL hosts of all time. Um, at the time of the documentary, he asks how many times have I hosted, and it's 10. So
Wow.
he like apparently what people really saw from Tom is that he wanted to be in the writers' room. He wanted to be fully involved in the whole process of the show from start to finish. And what they say in the documentary is that he was one of the first hosts to ever do that, to
Mm,
want to be involved in the show in a creative way. And that just speaks to him as a comedian and as a comic actor.
agreed. I feel like I'd be that way too, mainly because I just want to take it all in. You know what I mean?
Well,
I'd want
and
to know how every single bit of this thing is made and how I could help make it better, et cetera, et cetera. Or
yes,
where I should stay out of the way, et cetera, et cetera.
and getting that opportunity and seizing that opportunity to get to see how the sausage is made, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then help
Um,
make it.
yes, exactly. Uh, we briefly talked about Damon Wayans, and the 85-86 season has a very famous story where Damon Wayans is frustrated at the show.
Uh,
He is not being he's not being
I'm listening
like
to you. I'm just going to walk around the
yeah
side here and grab some water.
yeah. Damon Wayans is not being given roles that he feels are good, right? He's being given these very, very stereotypical African American characters, and the stuff that he's putting on the show is kind of getting kind of put down, or the writing staff is not really into it because they're not understanding it from like cultural standpoint. And so Damon Wayans famously changed his character live on air. They were doing a sketch. It was oh, we can't hear you, Jay.
Sorry, I'm coming.
Whatever.
That's
Yeah.
forgive me. My refrigerator is super slow with pouring the water. Um, that's something you do not do. If you did it at
Yes.
dress, it goes to air. You don't switch. You don't
Yes.
change things.
The
That's
the
like that'll
golden
get you
the
canned in
golden
a heartbeat.
exactly. The golden rule of live television is no surprises, right?
Well, it's a
At,
Lorne thing too. It's a Lorne thing because it's a very or it's I think it would probably if anybody's a live performer, it probably would come natural to you to think, ooh, I'll tank something not tank, but I'll hold back or something during the dress so that I can really get the splash during the live. That's
yeah.
like the first thing you don't do. They tell everybody.
but but people do it. Like people like famously Christopher Walken did it with the cowbell sketch.
Yeah, but you don't tell Christopher Walken no. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking about more the
Yeah.
cast members.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what led to the Sinead O'Connor controversy. Is during her dress rehearsal,
The Pope.
she ripped up a different photo. I can't remember what photo she ripped up in the rehearsal, but then she switched it to the photo of the Pope for live air.
Right.
Um, oh,
And they
why?
never got invited back.
Yes, Elvis Costello switched songs.
Oh,
Uh,
seriously? That's a bold
yes,
move. Like
he
Sinead O'Connor. Exactly,
yeah,
Andy.
exactly. Elvis Costello started playing one song and then stopped and played a different song. And then the rumor was is that he was banned from SNL, but I guess that was kind of more of a rumor. And um, but ultimately, like with live television, you don't surprise people because there is some control that live television producers want, right? And if you're going to go off the rails, that just shows them that you're going to do it again, and
Right.
so they have to get rid of you. So,
It's like a
uh,
dog who bites somebody. It's like, oh well, they
yeah,
bit somebody. Now they're gonna definitely bite somebody
yes,
again.
totally. So, it's just a sketch with Griffin Dunn, the actor, was hosting, and he gets arrested, and his lawyer is Mr. Monopoly, played by John Lovitz. Very, very funny. He comes in with like a get out of jail free card. Great,
Monocle.
great. Yeah, exactly. Great costume on John Lovitz. It's a great like idea for a sketch. And Damon Wayans was just one of the arresting officers. He was interrogating Griffin Dunn, and during the dress rehearsal, did it, performed it. He's a kind of a straight man in the scene, and for
Hilarious. You
air,
would use that terminology.
oh, yeah, that is funny. For Air, he decided, based on his frustration of all of the previous episodes, the things that had been written for him, the way he had been, some of his stuff has been turned down. He decided to put on a stereotypically effeminate gay voice.
That's his
And
story. My story is he's quitting on air.
that no, that's what he says.
Oh, he
in
did. So he knew he was going to get fired.
Yes, he
Oh,
did
okay.
it.
Then yeah.
He did it to get fired.
Got it. Got it. Got it. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I did watch that documentary when it first came out, but
Yeah.
that was 6 months ago, and I don't really remember. And
Yeah.
I'm not well.
No, he was fed up. He was frustrated, and he knew that doing something like that was going to lead to him getting fired, and it did. The second he walked off stage, Lauren was standing there waiting for him, and said,
That's it, right?
Yeah, I have to. I'm afraid I have to let you go." And so Damon, yes, exactly. Damon Wayans was let go from the show. He did come back to do stand up on the last episode. It was,
Oh, do you see that one?
yeah, January 14th, 1984. I don't know what the context is of that. There's lots of Don comments here. Where was I? Oh yeah. So at the time, Eddie Murphy knew Damon Wayans and told him, like, write your own stuff because they're going to give you stuff that you don't want to do. And it ended up happening, right? Combination of him not being able to get his stuff on and the stuff that was being given to him, he wasn't happy with. And so at the time, people were like, oh, he just blew his career. But what's funny is that, like, he ended up having a massive career after it, right? With all his movies, In Living Color. Right?
I'm one of those people who found the tape "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker" when I was a kid. Don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got it. I didn't buy it. It ended up at my house, and I wore it out. I watched it so many stinking times. So I knew him from that. But man, In Living Color was massive in the 80s.
Yes.
It was the first thing to take on SNL and stay on the air.
Yeah. Well, I think it was more the 90s, wasn't?
Oh, I guess so, maybe.
Yeah,
late 80s, early 90s, yeah.
And we got Jim Carrey from In Living Color. I mean, come on, like, without In Living Color, Jim Carrey probably, it was inevitable. Jim Carrey would have been somewhere else, but
yeah, but he blew up on In Living Color for sure.
Oh yeah, Fire Marshal Bill. I always think of the I can't remember the white rapper's name, but Jim Carrey.
I don't remember either, but I always credited. I loved how they did that. Like SNL always had one black guy, and I love how In Living Color did one white guy. I just thought it was great, so great.
Yeah, yeah. Did you know, this is one of my favorite fun facts, but in the movie Liar Liar, did you know that Fire Marshal Bill makes an appearance?
I can't remember. I love that movie. I love the outtakes. Overactor.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
That's a great movie. Tell me when. I don't remember.
At the very end, after everything has happened with the plane, and they're pulling Jim Carrey off on the stretcher.
Oh, yeah.
There's a crowd of people in the background, and one time they cut to, I think, like, Carrie Elwes, and can't remember the actress's name right now.
Maura Tierney, also from News
Yes,
Radio.
Maura Tierney. Yes, thank you very much. And you can see, because there's a bunch of, like, firefighters running around with the plane. You can see Fire Marshal Bill in the back with a microphone, and he's got his lips up and everything.
I never knew that. I own this movie. I'm gonna go watch it and look for that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
In fact, that's a great movie for me to watch later.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I know it so well. It's a really nice, good message in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right. My internet's going up and down, so this may be a duplicate. January 14th, 84 host, Father Guido Sarducci. No challenge there. We believe you. Can't find the relevance.
Yeah, I don't know.
Shoot, I wonder what he means. Oh, well. Go ahead.
There's a lot of comments. I'll have to read them all later. All from Don Giller.
I got to them all, though, right? I didn't skip any.
Yeah, there's a lot from Don Giller, so I don't think we have time.
Thank you for participating, Don Giller.
Yeah. I'll look at them all later. Maybe he's fact-checking me.
Oh, could be.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, he is sort of the database guy, so.
Yeah. Um,
We could always use
after
him in the future as a fact checker on the show if need be.
For sure. After all of that, they brought in Francis Ford Coppola to direct an episode of SNL.
I have those clips loaded in too, so you let me know when you want them.
Sure. I mean, we maybe
You brought up
you
Francis
could.
Ford Coppola. Wasn't one of them about him?
Yes, maybe you could play that clip. I believe the thumbnail is just black. If you're looking, because there's one that is like a New York skyline, which was the original cast intro, and then there's one that has Angelica Houston as the thumbnail. There should be
I
one.
think I know which one it is, but it's not black. But let's just see if this is it.
Yes,
Oh, there it is, black.
Yeah.
This is hilarious. This
Yeah,
is in place of the normal
it's
intro.
amazing. Yes, this is how it premiered. And Philip Glass is the musical guest. Produced and directed by Francis Ford Coppola. It's so funny. And then George Wendt comes out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think it'll end here. Yeah.
Wow, that is cool because I knew George Wendt. That's cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so this is a very, very famous episode of SNL because that was the bit. The bit was that Francis Ford Coppola came in and wanted to direct the show.
No, you're
And
not chopped
so
liver, Andy.
no, so he
So
he
are both Godfathers out at this point that he directed?
yeah
They would be, right?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And he's in the show, like he's playing himself in the show the same way that Lorne plays himself in the show, and he's giving direction. In George Wendt's monologue, he
Yeah.
asks him to like do it again, like let's do another take, and he's like, well, people won't laugh at the joke, like it's okay, we'll find it, like let's do it again. And it's this whole bit that like travels throughout the entire episode, and it like connects the behind the scenes aspect of SNL with the sketches. And in the documentary, the people involved with the show talk about how it was the first time that the cast actually felt like they were working and vibing with each other.
Huh.
And he was pointing things out. Famously, he there's a bit in the show where Denitra Vance is like doing a sketch. I think it's called like uh, it's called like Little Black Girl or something like that, and it's not working. And Francis Ford Coppola like cuts, and he's like, what's the problem? Like, let's see the writers." And he pulls the writers in, and they're all white men. And he says live on like air, "How come there's no black women writers on this show?" Right? Like he's calling these things out while doing the show. It's
Just
just
pulls
it's
the curtain back, which is kind of what SNL always did.
Yes.
This makes more
And
sense now from Don Giller, March 30th, 85, co-host Mr. T and Hulk Hogan. These are other characters who have hosted the show.
oh
Yes.
yeah, I mean, I guess technically yes, Mr. T and Hulk Hogan are
Well,
characters.
Father Guido Sarducci before that.
I see. Okay, I see.
That's what we're
That
going
makes-
for. Yep.
That makes more sense. Okay.
It does. And this is where he is the the archivist with the mostest.
Um, yeah, and then mixed on top of that, like it's just an incredible bit to have this prestigious director producing and directing this live comedy show.
To me, that episode is what SNL is all about. I feel like
Yes.
there should be more, like that's what early Letterman was about. That's Jim Downey all day long. That's like the absurd, right? That's Meryl
Yeah,
Marco. She wasn't even
yeah,
there, but like that's that type of absurdist humor.
yeah. In there's a quote from James Andrew Miller, who's an author and historian in the Peacock documentary, and his quote is that episode was so experimental and reimagined, but you can't do that every week.
Yeah. Well,
And
no, then what would the show be? Yeah.
exactly, right? We talked a little bit about how Albert Brooks was originally approached to be the single host for SNL, and it was his idea to do the multiple hosts.
Back in
Um,
75.
yes, back in '75. At one point, Billy Crystal, they were talking to him about doing. He was going to be the permanent host, and SNL was going to be a monthly variety show,
Hmm.
and that was right before Lauren got brought back on to the '85 season. But I mean, like, I haven't seen that Francis Ford Coppola episode in full, but I really got to find it now because I want to see the whole thing.
Yeah, that's all I could think of. Not every season is available for purchase on Apple iTunes or whatever that's called these days.
Yeah,
But I would like to buy the whole season if possible. I'm going to try to find it. SNL is notoriously, they yank stuff off of YouTube the moment it appears. So like it's hard to find SNL on YouTube
yeah.
unless
Well,
it's really well hidden.
and even in Canada, we can't watch SNL's YouTube channel. That there's certain sketches we can't watch, and we can't watch any musical performances
No, right.
because all of the rights,
The
the usage
licenses.
rights,
Yeah,
all the licenses, they only extend for America, for
right.
U.S. audience. So if I want to watch like an SNL clip, sometimes I have to like turn on my VPN and all that stuff just to find specific sketches. And even like if I don't watch SNL live or even my live recording, um, if I go to watch like even on demand from our Canadian syndicate, which would be like like Global TV up here, they're the ones who play SNL live. But if you watch it on demand, there is sketches and musical performances missing
Hmm.
from those on demand episodes.
Hmm.
So I always record
It's that
or
way
try
here
to
too.
watch it live. Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't. Yes, we haven't had Hulu in a while, but I know when they were on Hulu, I think the sketches were there, but the musical guests were gone. But if you watched it on Peacock, I think they're there, but not other It's very tricky. And then
Yeah.
usually you can tell by the runtime. You know, some will be an
Yeah.
hour and some will be 41 minutes, and you go, oh well, there's no
Yeah.
musical guest. They've cut
Yeah.
something
Obviously,
else
things
out.
are missing. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm a big part of it is just the music licensing. Their licensing must be for like a broadcast use,
yeah,
right?
yeah. It's probably all they ever needed all those years, which is how they were able to get away with it. But nowadays with streaming, it's all
Yeah.
convoluted.
Yeah. And then uh, ultimately, like the
I'm laughing because here's the last one. Like Sinead O'Connor, yes, you were right, Andy. And then what am I? Chopped liver. So if there's one missing in there somewhere, these are the only two blue ones I have from you.
well, here's the thing: Andy is on Facebook and Don is on YouTube, so they're not seeing each other's comments.
Oh, that's true. They're only seeing them on the show.
Yes.
Okay, well, I think I'm getting to them all, unless
Um,
they're not all in here.
yeah. The season, kind of continues. It's doing okay, but ultimately at the end, they have a very very famous ending to the
Oh my
season,
God, so good.
and it apparently was Robert Smigel's idea to set the cast ablaze and make it a mystery. So, do you want to run that other clip that I sent you? I think
I've
it's
got
like it's 3 minutes long.
Yes, there are two. Now I don't know which one it'll be. It's a crapshoot. All right, I'm gonna press one. You can say yes or no.
Yep. Nope. This is the one.
Hey, good show, everybody. Yeah.
But This is the end of the Angelica Houston, Billy Martin episode.
Wow, Angelica Houston, Billy Martin.
Yeah,
Wow.
Billy Martin was.
Oh, and
the,
every cast member's in this scene. Hilarious.
Yes. There's Damon Wayans. He was brought back for the final episode.
Wow.
Hey, does anybody smell gasoline?
So that's Billy Martin. He
stupid.
was the manager of the New York Yankees, I believe.
Fire, that's what I'm doing. What do you mean? What do I mean? Listen, Michaels, if I'm fired, then I'm taking the cast with me.
Bill, are you crazy? If you set the cast on fire, they won't be able to do the show next year.
That's
The,
right, big fella.
the turn to camera is genius.
Yes.
I've got to go in there.
Look at those green screen effects.
What are you doing? I gotta wave goodbye.
Don't ask any questions, John. Just go downstairs to my limousine and wait for me there.
The one guy we're saving. Hilarious.
Exactly. John Lovitz was the only thing that was
there's
working.
some candies
There's Mark
and
McKinney on the
chocolates
far
to dress
right
you. Help
behind
yourself.
Lorne.
Great job.
Sends the writers into the room that's ablaze.
Is Billy Martin around?
Oh, poor Angelica. Oh, is that George Clinton back there?
Yeah.
In the
that's
Parliament Funkadelic?
Parliament. Yep.
Billy, are you okay?
I never felt better.
Well,
Billy
me
Martin
too.
is all
Good night,
singed.
everybody.
Good night.
And then this is the famous bit here. Who will survive? Who will perish? And then everybody's name has question mark during the credit.
Well, I think we get the gag there.
Yeah,
That's so well done, and I didn't realize it was George Clinton and the Parliament Funkadelic. So they're all on stage, but they kill the cast in the other room. That's very funny.
Yeah, exactly. Because the cast is normally on the stage with the host and the musical guest to say
For the
goodnights.
good nights.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that is so famous, because Lorne goes in and he saves John Lovitz from the fire.
For me, it's
Right.
the slow turn. He's like, but if you said then the cast won't be able to do the show next year.
Exactly. It's great.
It's so, yeah, I know. It's so rude and crass, though. Like, the poor cast.
Yeah.
Because they have to
Well,
know
and-
when they're doing that bit that, like, they get the joke. They're not idiots.
Well, and I think it maybe at the time was kind of like, oh, it's a cliffhanger ending, right? Who will come back? But
Sure.
in reality, it's like, no, that's how you just start fresh again. And at that point, Brandon Tartikoff, who was head of NBC, he made the phone call to Bernie Brillstein, Lorne Michaels' manager, and said, I'm canceling SNL. After 10 years, it's had a good run. Last season wasn't great. We'll do something else, but I'm canceling it. And then Bernie Brillstein, convinced by his wife at the time, was like, you have to fight for it. You can't just accept that. You have to fight for Lorne. And so Bernie called Brandon Tartikoff back and said, like, you got to give him another chance. We'll start fresh again. We'll learn from the mistakes. And they did, because the next year is Phil Hartman and Dana Carvey, Jan Hooks, Kevin Nealon, right? John Lovitz they bring back. Nora Dunn they bring back. Dennis Miller is still Weekend Update. But it's
Tonally, it was so different.
it's unbelievable to think that SNL almost died that year. It was going to be canceled, taken off the air, and now we just celebrated its 50th anniversary.
Ta-da.
Like it's an institution now.
85 really is a magical year.
It is. It is a blockbuster year? Question mark.
So
Yeah.
so Milton Berle, Steven Seagal, the tapes mysteriously ended up in a landfill. Is that true?
I don't know. The Steven Seagal, I've heard other stories about his episode.
According to Don Giller, the Letterman channel, I'm assuming the official Letterman channel, is including musical performances, but they must have some sort of, like historically, Worldwide Pants will, buy these things. They own it themselves. It's not a network, thank God.
Yeah.
So Dave gets to make the call.
Yeah. So ultimately, like, it was this year that taught them what not to do.
Or did it serve exactly its purpose? Like Lorne wanted to come back, stir things up. He did.
Yeah. Well,
Not that he
mean,
wanted to come
definitely-
back, by the way. As I understood
Yeah.
it, he was kind of coaxed back.
Definitely stirred things up. But, like, I believe the first episode is Dana Carvey's Choppin' Broccoli. Like, that is the next season, first episode is Dana Carvey doing Choppin' Broccoli.
Right.
Famously, also season 12, because Madonna hosted the first episode of season 11, they brought Madonna back for the season 12 opener, and she reads a letter from NBC saying, the entire last season was a dream, a really, really bad dream.
Yeah.
And they kind of just they walk away from it.
Nicole used to my wife who's passed away, Nicole used to know and love Bernie Brillstein, and she would talk about some of her fondest memories were sitting in Lauren's office drinking wine with Bernie Brillstein.
So cool.
Whenever they had a host, like Chris Rock or somebody else hosting the show. And she loved Bernie Brillstein. She had nothing but positive things to say about him. It's funny too because he kind of had we talked about Francis Ford Coppola before. They had a similar look. They had a similar thing.
Yeah. It was the 80s.
Yeah, but I mean, the two guys shaped similarly with a similar face. They just had a similar thing. For the first few months, it had avoided any music or replaced some music tags with generic crap.
Can't say the rest.
But something evidently changed. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
Tolerance for crap.
that's basically it. That's all we were going to talk. We went longer than we were planning on going, but that's okay. Yeah. They made a bunch of announcements this week. Some cast members are gone.
Some of them bum me out, but they're not surprises as much as they were to other people. Typically, it's the ones I don't want to leave are the ones that leave, or are forced to leave.
At this point, we don't know actually what happened with Heidi Gardner. We don't know if she left or if she was fired because she hasn't made a statement herself yet.
Well, this is like what Don was saying before about the other cast. Sometimes there are multiple stories. Sometimes it's mutual and you only hear one side. Sometimes it's not mutual at all and you hear, a political whitewashed version.
Yeah.
She was on a podcast saying that, it's hard to come up with, I think I'm done. I don't think I'm going to come back because I'm not motivated in the same way. But was it David? No, who? It was on Fly on the Wall. I think it was.
Fly on the Wall. Harvey said that's kind of going out now that she maybe was let go.
Right.
Which I do find surprising. Like, she was one of my favorite current cast members.
But it can be both, right? It can be, I don't want to come back, and your contract is not renewed.
Yeah, exactly. But
I love Heidi Gardner, and more than that, what I'll miss more than Heidi Gardner is Nicole and I used to laugh at this every single week was the way Daryl Hammond would say, "Heidi Gardner." There were a few names he would just really Don Pardo up, like Andrew Dismukes.
Yeah.
Heidi Gardner. Can't believe I.
So I will miss her. I'm very excited. There is a cast member that was announced. His name is Jeremy Culhane, and he is an improviser in LA at UCB. I'm a big fan of this streaming service called Dropout TV, and he is an incredible improviser and one of the funniest guys I've seen. I've got to see him live one time. So funny. I'm so excited for him to be on the show.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, that provides hope. Historically, like back in '94, I was so bummed to see all of the Adam Sandler and David Spade and Chris. I was so bummed, and Chris Farley. Watch all those people leave. But then, even though the new season was so new, it became the new good. Like those Will Ferrell, Sherry O'Terry, Molly Shannons. That I have faith I'm not.
Oh.
Saturday Night Live's over. This is it. It jumped the shark.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't know if they'll ever let go of it. I mean, once Lauren's not around to fight for the show, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then I'll pose a question to you that Nicole and I used to debate all the time. Who takes over when Lauren leaves or retires or dies or whatever?
Yeah. If Seth Meyers didn't have a show, he would be perfect for it. Obviously, Tina Fey, I think, could do an incredible job at it.
Yep. Anybody else? Those are the two that I've always heard other people throw around. And I think Seth Meyers would not happily, but I think that there would absolutely be a world where late night goes away or becomes something else and Seth Meyers takes over Saturday Night Live. He's not my pick, but that wouldn't surprise me if it did happen. I don't think the show would keep him from doing it.
Yeah.
Especially now that they're just canceling those shows left and right.
Yeah. I mean, currently...
I have a weird one.
Okay, go for it.
That most people don't see coming. I say it's Keenan. I say Keenan's been around so long now, and he's in Lauren's ear, that I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of like, boy, I keep going from sweats to hot. If there was some sort of like Tina Fey, Keenan Thompson kind of show running partnership.
Yeah, I agree with that in terms of like he's been around it the longest and probably absorbed the most from Lorne. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if Keenan has the right producerial mind.
Mm-hmm. That's where the Tina and or the Seth come in.
Yes. And truthfully, like Colin Jost could also be great because he was head writer for so long.
Do you think he'll be back?
I don't know. I really hope so. Like I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to like lose Michael Che and Colin Jost yet. I look forward to Weekend Update probably the most in episodes at this point.
Yeah, me too. But meanwhile, I'd be surprised if they both came back.
Yeah, we'll see. I do have to shout out one more person who got cast.
Please.
Because it's
I'm wearing this shirt for you, by the way. Look at me, Roots in Canada.
Roots Canada. I wore my Andy Samberg Hot Rod shirt for tonight. Rod Kimball, Stuntman Forever.
Nice.
But I have to shout out Veronica Slowakowska. I've been following her on Instagram for a long time. Her Instagram is called Veronica is Cool, and she makes the funniest, awkward, weirdest internet videos. And she's Canadian. She's from Ontario, and she is the first Canadian cast on the show since Norm Macdonald.
Wow.
So I personally think Jeremy Culhane and Veronica Slowakowska are perfect fits for the show. Just based on some of the people that are there right now, like I'm really looking forward to both of these people working with Sarah Sherman and Dan Bulla. The weird Sarah Sherman, Dan Bulla stuff that comes out of SNL currently. I'm so excited for them to be in that kind of weird little esoteric avant-garde world that SNL puts out.
I don't disagree with you, but I'm beginning to sweat through my clothes, so we have to wrap it up.
Okay, that's great. I'll say my personal favorite cast is the Andy Samberg. It's the 2005, 2009 era. The Kristen Wiggs, the
Lonely
Maya
Island
Rudolphs,
Boys, that whole thing.
Lonely Island, Bill Hader, Jason Sudeikis, Will Forte. Those are my people.
Those are good stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and Keenan's there too.
That's right. Since Tim Meadows since Tim Meadows left the show, I think Keenan's been on ever since.
Yes.
I remember seeing Tim every week, and at the end of each year, it'd be like, so, you see him in the parking garage after we're going to the rap party or whatever because we all parked in the same place. Yeah. And I'd be like, so, what do you think? He's like, well, we'll see. And every year he kept coming back.
That is a perfect segue to next week's guest and our episode. Perfect. Because next week we are going to be talking Rambo First Blood Part 2, and our guest is going to be my friend Paul Sun-Hyung Lee who people may know from the TV show Kim's Convenience,
wow.
Avatar on Netflix, but he's also in the Star Wars universe as Captain Carson Teva in The Mandalorian, and he was just recently with Tim Meadows. Their characters work together.
What the heck?
So next week, Paul Sun-Hyung Lee is going to be on, and we're going to be talking about Rambo First Blood Part 2.
We did not write that segue. That worked out very well.
No, all of this, like, these coincidences, they're happening to this show, so I love it.
Don Giller wants to know if SNL is still on the air.
I think it's still on the air.
He doesn't watch TV anymore. Since Letterman went off the air, he doesn't watch TV
Yeah.
anymore. I love
All
you,
right.
buddy. I'm sorry that I'm not well, but I am not well.
This went way longer than I thought that we were going to go talking about SNL. So thank you for doing this episode tonight. I wish you the best, and I hope you get better. And I will see you next week, Wednesday at 6:00 on a Blockbuster year.
Regular channel, regular time.
Exactly. All right.
Thanks for being awesome, man, and thanks for interviewing me about SNL. I hadn't thought about that stuff in a long time.
Well, sleep well, eat some of that egg drop soup and that ginger tea, and feel better.
Thank you. Thanks to everybody at home for watching. We love you. This has been a Blockbuster year, right?
Thank you.
Can I push the button?
You can.
We're
Take
done.
care, everyone.
See you next week.